Hello and welcome to my channel Booms Baby Beauty. If you are new to my channel, my name is Juliana. In my welcome to 2023 video, I mentioned I was going to be sharing my collection in like an informal way rather than doing like a palette collection and declutter. I wasn't going to be doing that. I was just going to be sharing with you what my collection looks like in one form or the other. And today's video is going to be in such format. So today I'm going to be sharing with you Valentine appropriate palettes in my collection. So be it your pinkish palette, your red palette, your purple palette, because to me when I think of Valentine, I think of red, I think of pink, I think of burgundy, I think of wine color, I think of purple, I think of mauve, mixture of red and purples anyway, in some format or the other. And that's what I kind of like envision when I think of Valentine. Those are the colors that come to my mind, and those are the kind of palettes I've pulled out today to share with you. So none of these palettes are new. They've been in my collection at least by December 2022. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, just sharing with you my collection. So if you're on a no buy or low buy and you're struggling to think of a palette to use during Valentine, which I did struggle with this look, then this will be the perfect video for you. And I'm going to start with the palette actually on my eyes. So I've got 4 palettes on my eyes, either in one format or the other. You would have to wait to see the video. In some of them I used 1 shade, some I used 2 shades, but on my eyes today is a combination of 4 palettes. So I'm going to start with that. Okay, these are the 4 palettes on my eyes, and I'm just going to show you one by one. So the first one I got from a budget box from Plouise, and it's this tiny pinkish palette. So this is what the palette looked like. So for today I only use this shimmer shade for the lower lid. Okay, I think earlier I might have said there were 4 palettes on my eyes. There are actually 5 palettes. So I did use a shade from this Technidaze palette. So it's just 1 shade I used. I love the pink in this one. And this is one I used. I mean, technically this is appropriate as well, including the purples. In fact, come to think of it, when it comes to Valentine, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I had a look on Friday, and it was red with a bit of mint and green, and it was Valentine appropriate. But typically those shades are just what I think about. Those colors are what I think about. But for today, yeah, I did use this pink one. Okay, third palette I did use on my eyes is the Gourmand Girls Self Lamour palette. So I used 2 shades from this one. As you will see in the video, this is beautiful. This on its own is a beautiful Valentine palette. You can definitely do a full look with this one without reaching into another palette, but I'm a multi-palette user, so I like to use more than 1 palette on my eyes. But this one is a very good one if you just want to stick to 1 palette. And then 4th palette is the Royal Rose palette from Cosmic Brushes. So again, I believe I only used 1 shade from this one as well, but this is another beautiful one that you can use on its own without combining any shade. I mean, look at this purple, this peachy orange I want to call it, then a red, and then the pink. So it is perfect. It is perfect. Yeah, definitely you can use this one on its own. And these shimmers, they are just beautiful. Alright, the 5th and final palette on my eyes is the Red Velvet palette. I believe that's what it's called. The name is not written on it. It's from Glamlite. So this palette actually has most of the shades on my eyes. So almost all of my shimmers came from this one, apart from the one I used from the Plouise palette, but the rest of my shimmers came from this one. This is a beautiful Valentine Day palette, so you can definitely use this one on its own if you just want to stick with your red, your onion and purple. I love this tone of purple. They are really beautiful. So if you wanted to stick to 1 palette, you can definitely stick to this one. Oh yeah, this is the 5th palette on my eyes today. Okay, we're gonna speed it up because I've got quite a few palettes to show you. So the next one is Mothership 8. I believe this is the Divine Rose 2, and this is a perfect Valentine Day palette. I mean, this duochrome, the pinkish here. If I'm gonna use this one, obviously I'm gonna use it with another palette, but it's still got the shimmers in here. I could stick to it without using another shimmer from another palette. I think these shimmers are really perfect, and in combination with this one and this shade to darken the outer corner, it's a beautiful Valentine Day palette. So this is Mothership 8. Another beautiful Valentine palette is the Strawberry palette from Athley Cosmetics. So my palette does say Alien Cosmetics, but this is another beautiful. I mean, look at this bottom row here, coupled with a bit of green. If you want a little bit of I want to say dimension or difference or pop in your eyes, then you can use this green in combination with this bottom row. And this pinks, yeah, it is just perfect. So this is definitely another option. Then I picked out one of my infinity palette. This one is called Yo-Yo. This is from Playing in Makeup by Yolondo. This is perfect, really perfect. I mean, look at it, just 5 shades, but you could do a definitely beautiful Valentine look from this. Yeah. All right, another one from Pomegranate. Yeah, this is another one of our 6-pan palette. Now I don't know what it's called, I can't even see the name of the palette, but yeah, this is another one from Pomegranate. This one is actually really beautiful, really beautiful. I mean, for me it won't be enough. I will need to pull another palette, but if you're just like a single palette user, yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I've got this 3 from Slay Ready Cosmetics, so I'm going to show you all together. So they are I want to call it zodiac signs palette. So this combination of these 3 is just absolutely beautiful. This one is Aquarius, this is Cancer, and this is Capricorn. Alright, looking at it together, this is Cancer. The purple one is the one called Aquarius. The bottom one is the Capricorn. So this is beautiful together. Alright, let's first try this too. This is absolutely gorgeous. So this is like reddish wine base, and definitely this is like purples, lilac. So together this is beautiful, and in combination with this one also beautiful. So this is mainly pink and is the Cancer one, and this one is the Aquarius one. I mean, look at that. So whichever way you combine it, either you combine this purple with the pink or you combine it with the reddish mauve color, is just beautiful. Using them on their own also is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this. I'm just going to bring each one to the camera separately. Look at it. This is beautiful. And then your purple tone one, and then the pink one. I think the variety of the shades in this color is so beautiful, and the range, I mean, to go from pink, brown, burgundy, and then your red shimmer, it is just beautiful. But for me, I can use them on their own, and I can combine them for the Valentine Day look. Alright, the shimmer only palette now. This is Gal on Mars palette from Gloss Gods, and for my days, this is a gorgeous palette. I mean, look at this, it's just so beautiful. I love this palette. The mixture, I've never seen a palette that mixes red and purples, you know, to perfection. So you've got the reds on their own, the purples on their own, and then you've got perfect mix of red and purples. The tones in this palette is absolutely beautiful. I find myself, you know, finding it difficult to put this palette down, whether I'm doing a reddish look, a pinkish look, a purple look. Sometimes I'm even doing blue and I'm mixing these shimmers. It's an absolutely gorgeous palette. I think for me, out of the 4 palettes I have from Gloss Gods, if I'm going to recommend one, even though I really like the colorful one, the look for rainbows, this one will be it. This is a palette that I will recommend, you know, to anybody, because it's so versatile, honestly. And the tones, oh, I don't know what's coming across on the screen, but this is beautiful. I don't think there's, for the last 6, possibly 8 weeks, there's not been any week that I've not used this palette in one form or the other. Either, you know, pick up the smooth shimmer, the quartz shimmer. Oh, let me just swatch 4 shades for you. Okay, I decided to swatch 5 just so you can see the beauty of this palette. So I'm going to start with the one on my thumb. Just swatch that upside down. So that's that. That's like your reddish shade. Then this one on my fingers. I mean, look at this one. This one is absolutely beautiful. And one thing I also like about it is you don't necessarily need a shimmer primer. So the shade's absolutely beautiful. And as I twist my hand, you can see, you know, the shifts in the shade. Look at that. I goes from purple to bronze, and oh my, it's just so beautiful. This palette is gorgeous. Alright, next 2 are from E-Uni Cosmetics, and these are the 2 I picked out. I mean, this for the beautiful purple movie-like shade, and this, the red. Oh my days, that red shimmer is everything. Absolutely beautiful. It's like your rich red wine shade. It is yummy. I mean, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there isn't many palette that has this shade. So every time I see a beautiful red shimmer, you know, a gorgeous metallic red shade, is honestly, I'm always amazed. Yeah, these are just the two palettes I picked from the brand that are just so beautiful, you know, for Valentine's Day. That is absolutely gorgeous. So this one with the red is Tokyo Volume 1, and the one with the purple is Tokyo Volume 3. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And that's the outside of the palette. Okay, one from Juvia's Place. This one is called Blushed Rose. So this can be used for eyeshadows and it can be used for blush as well. So this is beautiful. So this is on the tamer side, I want to say. So if you don't really like a huge impact of color on your eyes, this would be perfect. Yeah, this one, I just see all the shades in here are basically like a crease shade. Apart from this one, for me, as far as I'm concerned, it's just too light and of low impact. So if I'm like doing a proper Valentine Day look, yeah, this won't be it. But for people that are not really into colors, or for like a blush, yeah, this is perfect. Or if you're looking for a nice beautiful blending shade on the crease, yeah, this one is perfect for that. Okay, from Colourpop, this is the Wine Only palette. I remember when this palette came out, I think when I tried to get it, it was sold out or something. I know I didn't get it immediately, but on my days, I really wanted the palette. I mean, forget the background that is not really showing off the shade, because, I mean, how do you do red background on red shades? It's not going to come out, but try and look at it without the background. It's an absolutely beautiful palette. Yeah, these tones of shimmer, yeah, not too common at all. This is gorgeous. So this is if you are going for the reddish wine direction when it comes to your Valentine's Day look, yeah, then this will be perfect. I'm just gonna swatch some shades on my finger. Yeah, look at that. So it's like your dark, pretty wineish red, you know, shimmers. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright, an oldie but a very good one is the Venus XL palette. This is from Lime Crime. This is, in fact, I don't see this palette being useful for anything apart from Valentine's Day, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to not let the background blind you, but this is the palette. Let me try and bring it forward towards the camera. Yeah, that's better. This is beautiful. For me, this is very monochromatic. In fact, it's too monochromatic, and that's the reason why I really don't pick up this palette so much. But as far as Valentine's Day is concerned, this is perfect. This is one of the best occasions, you know, for this palette, because there's some unique, beautiful shades that you won't really find in a lot of palettes, especially when it comes to Valentine's Day look. Look at these three mattes. Absolutely beautiful, especially this one. It's not a very common shade, but it is beautiful. Yeah, if this palette is perfect for anything, it's definitely Valentine's Day. Okay, another one from Plouise. This is the Stack Them Up palette, and this is the pink variety. So I've got 5 of this. I've got like a green, orange, purple, pink, and blue. So this is the blue one. So this one is actually beautiful in the sense that you've got your light shade, your medium tone shade, and then you've got one to darken the outer corner, and the shimmers in this palette are beautiful. So they're like your iridescent kind of with pink flecks shade, and this one is got like your brown / orange tones in it. It is just beautiful. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm a multi-use palette, so definitely this one will not be enough for me. I will need some sort of, you know, a different shade that is not in here. But if you just want to do your pinkish kind of Valentine typical day look, yeah, this one is perfect. Okay, back to Juvia's. This is the Sweet Pinks palette. This is a typical, what I would call your too sweet kind of palette. I mean, it's just, that's all it is, just pink. That's all what the palette is. So for me, this is ones I kind of consider too sweet of a good thing. Yeah, but this is gorgeous. So if you are typically into pink, because I do have a few friends that love pink, everything is pink, you know, this would be perfect. So if you are okay doing a Valentine's Day look that is just purely your sweet nice pink, yeah, this one is gorgeous. And the shimmers in this palette, the tone, they are just different. They are not common. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. It's like your blue tone pink, almost verging on the side of neon, if you like, but this is like a blue pink. It's very beautiful. And this as well is not something that is common. Both of them, they've got a bit of element of neon in them, which makes them unique. Yeah, So if you're into pink, yeah, this is perfect. Alright, from Playing in Makeup by Yolondo again is these two Formula 1 palettes. So this is our first set of Formula palettes. She now has like a Formula 2, but these Formula 1s, they are beautiful. So but these are the two that I will consider to be Valentine Day appropriate. I do have a purple one that you can consider Valentine, but for me, because it's so dark, I don't see it as a Valentine palette. Well, I wouldn't pick it out anyway. But for these two, they're absolutely perfect. So I love the range, even though it's a pink tone palette. I love the range in the palette. Get closer. This duochrome. I'm seeing purple on the screen, but when I'm looking at the palette, I see pink. So it is definitely a duochrome. So you can see your pink and then purple twist to it. Yeah, it is perfect. It is perfect. And then the burgundy one is just your typical red tone / burgundy. So depending on the way you want to go, yeah, this is beautiful palette. Yeah, and together, yeah, you can definitely achieve beautiful looks with this. Alright, next one is from Crayon case, and it's just one of their notepads. So this is the red edition. So they've got like different shades of color for their notepads. You've got like yellow, green or whatever, but this is the red one. I do love this one in the sense that it's diverse. So you've got like your red tone, bright red, your dark red, and you've got your wine, you've got like your brownish purple red. The range is beautiful. So it's not just your typical red with no variation. It's a red toned palette, but it's a red tone palette that has ranges in from lightness to medium to dark. You know, it is just beautiful, and the shimmers are equally beautiful as well. So yeah, definitely I consider this a beautiful Valentine's Day palette. And then the next one is from Glamlite again. This is the Ice Cherry palette. Yeah, this is the one I used last week Friday with the mint green I was talking about right in here. It's absolutely beautiful. This palette is gorgeous. So beautiful, and I used it without any base, so you can imagine. I mean, the tones of red in this palette. This is why I actually got this palette, because of the reds. It's so difficult to find reds that won't turn into pink on your eyes, and I knew when I saw this palette that Glamlite was not going to disappoint, and when I've used it, yeah, they definitely didn't disappoint. I like the fact that it's not just red in the palette. You've got like your variation of red. Let me just quickly swatch the matte for you. And it's just the matte, you know. It's even got pinkish in there. It's got your, look, it's different tones of red. So it's like your, I want to say this is like your pinkish / blue red, and then your orangey peach kind of, and then this one is orange mixed with red, and then this one is just, I don't even know what to call this one. This is just yummy. Honestly, this is, if you love red, you will love this palette. All sorts. Look, pink, red, I want to call this what, blue red, orange red, and oh, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. And it's also got the iridescent shade shimmer to match. Oh, and the beauty of these iridescent shades are, if you put them on different matte, they do give you like a different effect. So if I put on that, you see, you get something different out of each one. Yeah, that is beautiful and gorgeous. So yes, it will be a red tone look, but it's going to be a red, you know, with variety, you know, and then you can transform with the shimmers. Yeah, I absolutely love the palette, and I enjoyed using it on Friday. Alright, a few more palettes to show you. So another beautiful Valentine's Day palette is the Berries palette from Beauty Bay. Now and again, this is your typical pink palette, but it's a pink palette again that is just got a little bit of oomph to it, you know, compared to, for example, like the previous one I showed you, which was just sweet pinks. This pink is beautiful. All these tones, you know, this beautiful burgundy tone, this your neon-like mixed orange, you know, peach shade, it just make the palette so unique and beautiful. I mean, one of the reasons I bought this palette, I'm not typically a pink person, is the variety. Look at the matte in this palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at the range. It is so beautiful. All sort of pinks that you can think of. I mean, pink, what makes pink with burgundy? It just makes sense. This palette makes sense. It's an absolutely beautiful palette. This palette I could use on its own to do your typical pink look, because I know it's not just going to be pink, but it's going to be pink with variety. I mean, think about it. This dark bit on the lower lid, maybe just on the outer edge here, and then in the inner part you used a different shade, and on the lid it's different shades as well. Look, you can go this way. On the crease you can use diverse colors. It is so beautiful. I could definitely stick to this, to create a look, which I might one day actually. Now that I'm looking at it and thinking of the shades, idea is beginning to pop in my head. This is gorgeous. So if you just want to stick to those tones for Valentine, yeah, definitely this is one to pick out, And these are the swatches. I mean, it's a bit mongoed up, but these are the swatches of the matte on mine, and it's just so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I like it. I'm not, there are certain colors that I don't really go for, but when they are mixed, to make it more interesting, if you like, if there are more interesting things to them, I kind of like them. Because I wouldn't typically go for a pink palette, but this is not just an ordinary pink palette. It's a palette that is so gorgeous. Even some of the pinks are bordering on red, apart from the wine one. It's just beautiful. Alright, next palette is the Still Pretty palette from September Rose. So this is the one I used to create last year's Valentine's Day look. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I had issues with the palette in the sense that it didn't have ranges that I wanted, in the palette. Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah, I wanted a bit of darker red, if you like, because if you look at it, this palette could do with like a wine shade, something to darken the outer corner. That was what was missing from the palette. And then Beauty Bay's new romantic palette. This is the palette I used for my 2021 Valentine's Day look. Again, I have a video on my channel featuring this palette. It's another beautiful, gorgeous palette. So for me, probably about just 2 shades are useful, in this row here, but the other rows, the other 3 rows, absolutely gorgeous. Especially these 2 shades here, they are just beautiful. These 2 here, gorgeous. Look at that. And especially this matte, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so this is another one. If you've got a line in the bottom of your drawer like I did until, well, I had to kind of dig it out. Well, last week I was creating my February palette, so this is one of the one I had to bring out, but I can't even remember the last time I used it. So if it's in your bottom drawer, it's time to bring it out. This is the perfect month, to dig out this palette. But yeah, this is another gorgeous Valentine's Day palette. Alright, next one is from VE Cosmetics, and it's called the Blood Moon palette. This is gorgeous. I love the range in this palette. It's an all matte palette. There's no shimmer at all, but it is beautiful. I mean, look at it. This section here plus this one. So these 3 shades here, and then all of this row. Absolutely beautiful. This palette is beautiful. When I used this palette, I almost left my look, all matte without putting shimmer. In fact, I took a picture after finishing the matte application before I applied the shimmer, because it was just that gorgeous. Beautiful to apply, beautiful to blend, so beautiful. I love, all the combinations of this palette. It's an absolutely gorgeous palette. So this one is really nice, for Valentine's Day. It's got your purple, it's got the perfect mix of red and pink plus purple. I love the stones here. I love tones like this. They are absolutely beautiful. And this kind of purple, because it's not lilac, it's not purple, it's not blue, it's like a perfect mixture of shades like that. It's just unique. All of this row here I absolutely love. Yeah, this is one gorgeous palette. It's just a shame that it's an all matte palette, but that's not an issue because I've got all shimmer palettes. I mean, if I put it side by side with the Gloss God palette I showed you earlier, absolutely beautiful. This palette is really deceitful because you can't see the tones. You look at it and you think it's all purple, but I'm telling you, in reality, oh, such a perfect palette. I mean, look at that. It's true. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, that's giving me another idea. This might be another 2 palettes I'm going to combine for a look. Oh, yeah, I definitely love this palette, and it's kind of similar to the next palette I'm going to show you, which is possibly right now my all-time favorite Valentine's Day palette. And the palette is Love Epidemic palette. I've done a video on this palette when I first received this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. From the moment it was sneak peeked, I almost didn't get it. I think the red just did it for me, because I mean, some shades in the palette are kind of like, I've go here and there, but there are certain tones and shades in this palette that just makes it unmissable. And it's so similar, to the one I've just shown you now from VE Cosmetics. If you look at it, can see the similarity, which is what really drew me to this palette, because of those shades, and they are here as well. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. I've used this now at least on camera and off camera at least possibly 10 times, which is a lot. I'm telling you that. I know it's possibly nothing to people, but for me it is a lot to use a palette up to that many times, considering my collection. Yeah, know that that palette is a beautiful and gorgeous palette. Yeah, it blends like a dream. You can always rely on it. It was what I was going to use for my Valentine's Day this look, but I couldn't use it again because even on this channel I've possibly used it 4 or 5 times now, and I just wanted to give other palettes, you know, a chance, and that's why I didn't use this palette. But it's beautiful. If you've seen my review of this palette, my complaint is the fact that it's only got 3 shimmers. You know, a big palette like this to only have 3 shimmers is just, yeah, it's not right. That's my only complaint. But again, I'm a multiple palette user, so I don't really mind. But just looking at the palette on its own, I would have wanted at least 6 shimmers. I mean, come on. A red shimmer would have been absolutely beautiful. A shimmer to match that, oh, gorgeous. And then possibly like a peachy kind of shimmer. Well, as it is, it's like a lilac, an iridescent one, and then I don't know what to call this, some lightish pink one. This one is not even very impactful. The only impactful ones are these 2 here. So those are my only bots, you know, with this palette. But in terms of the mattes, the color story, the performance, this palette is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, these 2 definitely my top ones. This is all matte, and then this is a mixture. These 2 are really perfect. So if you live in UK, yeah, definitely this one, perfect. And if you live in the US, yeah, then this one. And you know, if you don't care where you live and you just want any of the 2, it's just beautiful. So I deliberately didn't do a ranking because some of them I just couldn't choose, and it wasn't about ranking them whether one was better than the other. It was really about the color story and my preference, you know, when it comes to Valentine's Day. So it's not really like a competition, if you like. I just prefer, you know, some certain tones when it comes to Valentine's. So I really didn't want to do a ranking. I just wanted to show you, you know, what's probably in your stash and my collection, because that's one of the ways I wanted to show my collection this year, with one way or the other. So I definitely don't want to do a ranking, but if I were to do a ranking, this would have been #1. Yeah, for Valentine's Day palette. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Let me know what you think about this style of showing you my collection rather than showing you a batch, but to show you with a purpose or with some sort of theme behind it. Let me know what you think of this format, you know, of showcasing my palettes and my collection. But that's the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me and you've enjoyed seeing my Valentine palettes. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'll see you.